Teofimo talks about the new delay with the Kambosos fight. This whole thing is a mess, and he doesn't understand why Kambosos is looking for extra money. We're going to talk about that. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. Dan Rayfield reports that Teofimo Lopez, George Kambosos' team, waiting on a ruling from the IBF on the Triller purse bid to see if it will be defaulted. And as of Thursday night, there is no deal with Kambosos for the fight, which is supposed to be in 16 days. No tickets are on sale, and uncertainty from undercard fights and the fighters about the event. What a utter mess. And I agree with that sentiment. This is absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, the messiest, sloppiest deal in boxing that I could recall in the last 5 years, where it was just, because normally you don't see it last and prolong quite this long. Like, even there's been mishaps, like let's say Ryan Garcia, he said that he was going to fight Manny Pacquiao. And then we had to wait. And they were trying to put it in someone's backyard. And then before you know it, long story short, Ryan and Manny Pacquiao, it was understood that that deal wasn't going on. And there wasn't a bunch of stuff beyond Ryan Garcia kind of blabbermouthing and saying that he was fighting Pacquiao. There wasn't a bunch of news updates. This has been five or more date switches. Is highly publicized, getting off the date for Mayweather Logan Paul. Then they said Teofimo had Rona, fight got canceled. Then it's getting moved. Then they put it on Tuesday night, then on Monday night. And then they say, oh, Monday Night Football, the Las Vegas Raiders, we don't want to do it on that particular date. And then they say they're going to do it 2 weeks. And then now one person won't sign. The whole thing is, it's a mess. I've never seen anything handled quite so sloppy, but this is what happens. Teofimo went against the grain. He was bragging, saying, hey, we got J-Lo, and we're going to bet on ourselves, and, trying to beef with Top Rank and ESPN, and this is the end result. Now, I did put this on my Twitter. Make sure you guys follow me at Boxingego. I said, Teofimo is saying that George Kambosos shouldn't be asking for an additional $300,000 plus, and he should be happy to be fighting for the opportunity and to fight for, quote, all the belts, which is really not all the belts because Devin Haney has a belt, but more on that later. But he asked for more money to fight Lomachenko, no? What's the difference, especially when George Kambosos has been screwed over, postponed, and delayed? Now, just so you guys know, when and if you hear the talking points that I produce on my channel, on other Instagram pages, on boxing Twitter, on other YouTube channels, just know where they started. And again, all I ask is pay homage, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, you know where it starts. This was a report that I've included in the tweet. It says, report, Vasily Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez fight in jeopardy over money dispute. Lopez reportedly wants more than $1.2 million purse offered to him by Top Rank, right? Teofimo versus Lomachenko in jeopardy due to money demands. IBF lightweight titleist Teofimo is screaming, quote, show me the money for the highly anticipated Lomachenko fight. That being said, Teofimo and Lomachenko did end up agreeing, and they did end up fighting, and Teofimo won and got the belts that Lomachenko had, and the rest is history. Since that moment, huge momentum dip, and his momentum has totally been stifled and shot from this stunt trying to go to Triller and, everything that I mentioned earlier in this video that has transpired with Kambosos. So I find it mighty ironic that Teofimo is telling George Kambosos that he shouldn't be asking for more money. He did a recent interview, Teofimo, and he said, we didn't get extra money. What are you doing? You're already getting a career high payday of $2 million. And I don't really think that's Teofimo's place, given all of the hangups, all the postponements, all of the delays. I don't really think it's his place to chastise George Kambosos for what he's doing. In fact, if I was George Kambosos, I would be doing the same thing, because all of these delays that have happened for Lopez versus Kambosos have really been based on Teofimo, Team Lopez, or at the very least, poor planning by Triller. And that's it. Bob Arum must be in his offices laughing, because he's been in the business since who knows when, the 60s, 70s, or whatever. Teofimo, it's like Teofimo, it's almost like when you tell your parents you're running away from home because they won't let you play with your video game. And your parents, they just laugh because they know you'll get eaten alive on the streets. You're 8 years old, you have no money, you have no car, you don't have clothing, you know what I mean? You just, where are you going to go to? You know what I mean? And that's probably how Bob Arum is looking at it in this situation with Teofimo. He knew this was probably going to backfire, which it certainly has. But back to the money woes. I don't know if this fight happens. The reports are conflicting. I don't know if George Kambosos is going to budge, but this looks horrible. We have virtually almost 2 weeks until this particular date. This Saturday, it'll probably be 2 weeks exactly until fight date. Fans can't buy tickets. We haven't heard of the versus battle. They said they were supposed to be pairing this with some type of versus battle. Who's the versus battle? Is it going to be Lloyd and Ashanti versus, you know what I mean? We don't versus Omarion and B2K. We have no idea who's even doing the versus battle allegedly, let alone if this fight is happening. So I think it's really laughable, and I'm getting tired of even talking about it because it's so sloppy. It's sloppy business. It's been mismanaged, and literally, it's not even that type. This is not Manny Pacquiao versus Mayweather, a fight like that where people are gonna be tuned in and tapping in, arguing for 5-6 years about the outcome. This is Lopez versus Kambosos, and for whatever reason, they cannot get this plane off the ground. So back to the money woes, like I told you guys in the title. I don't really know that it's Teofimo's place to be saying anything, because when it came to Lomachenko, what's the difference? He was going to get a career high payday of 1.25 mil against Lomachenko. So all that stuff he's saying, oh, you should be happy for the opportunity, you should be happy for the belts, the experience, and you're getting a career high payday. How come he and David McWater and Teofimo and his dad, how come they did what they wanted to do and they fought for more money? So how can you really, it's just mighty hypocritical. You know, it's mighty hypocritical for Teofimo to now act like George Kambosos asking for 300,000 is doing too much. And he's like, oh, hey, we're not asking for more. And the other thing that it makes you wonder if Triller even wants this fight anymore, and if they're trying to like get out of the fight some kind of way. Because how do you bid over $6 million for a fight? And I told you guys then that was too large a number for a fight like this. Knowing my boxing, y'all said I was hating. Now look at it. But I'm wondering if Triller's trying to back out, because at the end of the day, it just doesn't really make sense to pay that type of money just for a main event only. And if you have, let's say you were willing to pay $6 million plus, you already agreed, you won the purse bid. So if they're not trying to default on purpose, and you lost money booking the Madison Square Garden, you had to pay some kind of deposit that you probably lost trying to move it to the Barclays. How can't you give George Kambosos 300,000? None of this is really truly making sense. If you have 6 million plus to spend, what's 300,000 K to appease George Kambosos so you can get tickets on sale? So Teofimo, this was really damaging to his profile, because he said he's the A side. A sides don't go through these types of things and this type of peril, where their tickets don't go on sale and the fans can't. I've never seen anybody from Floyd Mayweather to Gervonta Davis to Canelo or Deontay Wilder, any A side person that does ticket sales, I've never seen it handled this sloppily. And that's just the God honest truth. So Teofimo, his whole ego, and no pun intended, but his whole A-sideness definitely has to take a back seat after this, because just based on how sloppy the business is being ran regarding your fight, this is an L. This is an L. People don't even know when to buy tickets for your fight, or if you're even fighting. And if they get a late replacement, I mean, are they still going to give you the amount of money? There's other fighters and boxers that have been attached to Triller, and they said they didn't get paid properly. I think Mike Tyson and Roy Jones might have been two of them as well. So I don't know what's going on. That's the latest. We'll see how it all plays out. But I don't really think it's Teofimo's place to say that with all the inconveniences that George Kambosos doesn't deserve to be compensated. Because again, Teofimo asked for more money to fight Lomachenko, and then he ended up getting more money. So if I was George Kambosos, I'd be doing the same thing. You've been training, trying to stay focused, and they've been pushing you around. You got to stand your ground. So I don't know if it'll default. I don't know if the fight's happening. More on that soon. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, is Ego signing off.